Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another edition of the Detour Live. It's nice and fresh and cold here in Melbourne, and it's election day. Oh, what a great time to be alive because I get so excited
And
when
I've
we
missed
elected the
it.
next Prime Minister. I'm so inspired. Oh, yeah, you haven't voted, Iffy. You're going to get a fine.
Oh, no, I've done. I tried to do a postal, but I don't think it worked.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a 0-all draw, let's be honest. There's not many that inspire back here. For all our Australian listeners, we're not going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about the Giro. And Arnaud Démare, he does it again. Johnny Cavendish was in third. Bauer second. Gaviria couldn't get the chocolates again, fourth. And Denise for Team DSM, who've been rocked. We'll get into that a bit later. Romain Bardet's had to withdraw from the race due to illness.
Great stage. We were lucky enough to be, Vaz and I were actually, we went straight to the hotel. It was easier to do that than staying at the finish. And we were there with we're sharing with FDJ. And we watched the finish on telly with their staff and, managed to get a little bit of the vision of their celebration, which was great. But it was an exciting stage. I mean, the break went, I was thinking, well, they'll let them out there. But they took it very easy on the climb to save all their sprinters, and the gap got out to like 6-7 minutes. It didn't look like they were going to get them. I mean, 30k to go, I said, yeah, no, they're right. But as it got closer and closer to the line, it was touch and go. They only caught the last guy like 250 metres to go. This is the FDJ crew.
How many were left over? These are just like, I suppose, the mechanics that stay at the hotel.
Yeah. There were probably half a dozen of them, but they were very excited.
Yeah, well, it's been an amazing Giro for FDJ. And as we saw, obviously Caleb Ewan didn't win a stage here, but sprinting is a lot of confidence and trust in your group. And when you've already won 2 stages, it's the old analogy, when it rains, it pours, Johnny.
Exactly. You've got a great lead-out train. Aussie Miles Scotson, Milo, is a part of that, very much part of that. And so you'll see them get very excited shortly. This is them actually filming it, so it's not, you don't blame Vazzy for any of this. You hear them in the background.
Yeah, all right, well, take us through the final, Johnny.
Well, here's the lead-out going, and you see Arnaud starting to make the move up the middle there, and you listen to them start screaming as he gets towards the front.
Cavendish! I love Frenchmen when they get going. Geez, you jump camp pretty quick. You've jumped from Bike Exchange Jayco straight across to the benches.
No, that's their vision. That's their vision. They gave us their vision. They took it.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave it to us.
Yeah, right. Very good. Well, as always, if you caught up with a few of the big names before the start, so this is the interviews.
Okay, here we are about to start stage 13, and I'm with Matty White, DS of Bike Exchange Jayco. It's an interesting one today in that there's a bit of a climb early, but you just feel that the sprinters might be one of the last chances for them.
No, it's definitely the last chance for a lot of the sprinters to have any energy and control the race, because we do go into the heavy mountains. There may be a stage next week into Trevorrow, but the sprint group will be even more depleted, which will make it a lot harder to control that stage, and then another week of fatigue on top of that. So this race, today's stage will go 2 ways. It's 30 odd K on the coast here. We are in the San Remo final area, and then we go up a pretty solid climb. Now, interesting to see what happens early in the race and the combinations that go. These stages are becoming a little bit less predictable, but there's 4 or 5 teams who will be really banking on a sprint today. But then there would have been even more if Caleb was still here, if Grimet was still here. Alpecin have been riding very, very aggressive the last few days, so it will be interesting to see how this first hour of racing evolves, because once a break does go, it would have to be a big break to be successful, I think, this afternoon.
Now, the team seems to have a bit of a spring back in their step. A really good ride by Lucas and Matteo yesterday getting into that break.
Look, the spring never came out of this step. The guys, it was a disappointing day last Sunday, and we just got to pick and choose our moments. You know, it's a sign of a good team is a team who can bounce back quickly and show a bit of resilience. And I think the guys never lost that. And it's no use attacking for attacking's sake. We got to go after stages that can suit us. And yesterday was a day. It was quite a transitional day in the Tour de France, for example. You know, a climber could have won yesterday's stage, or a bigger guy who had okay climbing ability who could just survive the climbs, and that's nearly everyone in our team. So we're on a bit of a mission to get a couple of guys in the break there yesterday, and Matteo Trevorrow and Lucas Hamilton did a really good job, and some good signs from Lucas, and today's another day, and we just got to refocus on those stages that suit our characteristics and go all in for the ones we think we can get results in.
And I reckon tomorrow is one of those days too.
It is. It's a pretty brutal day tomorrow in Turin. It's going to be interesting because it's a day that the GC teams will be nervous. We're having incredibly hot weather here in Italy at the moment. I think it's going to be nearly 30 degrees tomorrow in Turin, which will make it also the humidity in that part of Italy will make it very, very demanding. And I said it's been the hottest Giro I've been part of in the last 20 years, and you can see it in the way the guys are racing. That there's a lot of athletes hurting. You know, in the last 5 years, we've been doing more specific preparation for the cold weather to come to the Giro, and a lot of our camps have been obviously high, but we haven't had to deal with this heat for a long, long time, especially in sustained periods. So a lot of guys have suffered in the heat, and not just us. It might sound strange that why Aussies struggling in the heat, but I tell you why. It's, we spent a month or 3 weeks in Andorra with it was a really, really mild. Spring, even winter went very far into the month of March and April, and we haven't had too much exposure to the heat. And some guys are take a little bit of time for that, and we just haven't had temperatures in the 30s in May in the Giro for a long time. And it's the good thing is that the guys who can adapt to the heat quickly. And I think in the long run, if it does stay hot here, it will only benefit the group we've got here.
Thanks, Matty. Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Lucas, looks like another hot one today, but you handled the heat pretty well yesterday, mate.
Yeah, I think it's been a bit abnormal for the Giro how hot it's been, but I think the weekend's going to be hot as well too, but I think we're slowly maybe adapting to it a bit more. We've obviously been at altitude before here, so didn't really have many hot days, but hopefully come the third week we're a little bit more used to it.
Now, a great effort yesterday. You and Matteo both got in the break, but it wasn't easy to get in that break. It took about 50 or 60 kilometres to happen.
Yeah, I think we're getting to the point now in the race where there's a lot of guys off GC, so it's a lot of days going to be breakaway days, which means that the starts are going to be on for a long time. So yesterday we did a good job because it's a bit of a lottery, especially with flat starts like that. But yeah, we did a good job to get two of us in there.
Now, I was on the last climb. I actually got you a bottle near the top, but you were really forcing the pace, trying to close that gap because three had gone away and you were forcing the pace. I thought at that stage you might have got there.
Yeah, I think with a group that big in the break, like the sort of, it's a lottery at the start and it's sort of a bit of a lottery at the end. You sort of got to pick which moves. I knew that last climb was probably what suited me the most out of the whole course in the final there, so I sort of marked it down as my spot to where I was going to go. Those three guys clipped off a bit earlier than that, and they just did a good job to hold us off. I knew I had to go over the top with at least two or three others, which we did with a group of four of us, and we chopped off, but yeah, the three at the front were too strong.
Now today, even though there's a climb early, it'd probably be the sprinters might be their last chance for a while.
Yeah, I think so. I think it should be a sprint day. Touch wood. It could be maybe ridden a little bit harder on that climb, but I think everyone will be looking for the sprinters to try and control.
And then tomorrow, different story. She's a pretty solid day.
Yeah, the weekend. Tomorrow's circuit's obviously super hard. So, and then Sunday a mountain day. So yeah, big weekend ahead. Looking forward to it. Okay, with us we've got the Texan of the team, Lawson Craddock.
this is your first year with Bike Exchange, Jaco. How have you found the difference between an Aussie team and a Yankee team?
Oh, it's been really great, actually. I think there's there's a lot of amazing things about this team that have helped me fit in actually really easily. So I'm extremely happy to be here. It's been a tough Giro so far, but we're over the hump and halfway through, and looking forward to finishing strong.
Now, I've been a bit of a fan of yours over the last couple of years, watching what you do, and you're obviously a very good time trial, a US national champion in the time trial. Well, the one that really won me over was the Vuelta last year when you did all that work for Magnus Court. That was an amazing ride.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's that day was definitely a special day in my career. One of the days I'll definitely remember for probably the rest of my life. And but I'm here at the Giro at Bike Exchange Jaco, and I'm looking forward to trying to do the same thing for us.
Now, you've got a crucial role here because of, it's all changed, of course, with Simon not being on GC, but you are quite strong on the flat, but you also go pretty well into the hills as well. So what do you see as your opportunities?
Yeah, I feel like I have quite a bit of versatility in my arsenal. Obviously now we're kind of looking for opportunities to try and win stages for the rest of the Giro. So hopefully I can just try and maybe get in a break with some of the guys and help drive it for them, and then go deep and try to deliver some wins.
Good luck, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Whitey, Lucas Hamilton, and Lawson Craddock there before the start. How's the mood in the Bike Exchange camp, Iffy?
It's great, actually. And I see Whitey pulled me up quite quickly when I said spring back in their step. And no, never left. Well, they were, I won't say they were down when Simon had that bad day. I think they were just bleeding for Simon. They knew how much it meant to him and whatever. But they quickly turned it around, whether Whitey had a part of that, or it's just the guys themselves. But no, they're as good as gold. They're bouncing around, and every day I've watched Simon, he's walking a little bit better. So I think we're going to see some big things happen from him. Maybe even Sunday, but next week in the Dolomites for sure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got an interview with Miles Scotson and Arnaud Démare after the finish. So stay tuned for more Detour.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Feel more in every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange and, of course, Lexus of Blackburn. We can't forget the guys that support cycling. Andrew Moore, Ruby Rosengunner and Blake Quick there at the Lexus of Blackburn. Bay Crits popping out of the full electric car that goes like the clappers, as they say in the classics.
It does. Yeah. Even if it is flat as the proverbial. Yeah.
Yeah. You haven't had to use that zinger for a while there, if you? And of course, exactly. You've got to, as we said, keep supporting the companies that support cycling. None bigger than Jaco, if you.
Exactly. And here we are. Look, I mean, we know we've got to support Jacko because of Jerry Ryan and what Jacko's done for cycling. But, adventure awaits in Australia. Everyone's now out there trying to, check in our own backyard. So Australia's most popular caravans, the Jacko Caravan range, has been designed to withstand Australian conditions with the introduction of new world-class technology and safety features. So all the comfort and luxury of our next generation caravans.
And great after-sales service.
The best.
And they got the biggest dealerships across Australia, jco.com.au. Where else would you go?
Exactly. Where else would you go?
Yeah. Now, you caught up with Miles Scotson after the finish. Now, there was controversy because some of the audio, it's always hard when you've got the mechanics with the high-pressure guns in the background. So the first part was just a bit too hard. I could have run it, but we're thinking of the listeners, particularly the ones via the audio streams. But we've got the guts of it. Here's Miles Scotson after the finish. And also, I pronounced his name properly. I think I typed it as Scott Sand, S-A-N-D, not Son. So, it's a long
been around for a
Giro.
while.
It's a long
Australian
Giro,
road
mate.
champion.
There's always going to be mistakes. Anyway, here's the second part of
Milo.
Milo. All right.
But kind of the idea of keeping big lead outs like you normally see in the sprint just went out the window. Like you had lead out guys from Israel pulling at 20k to go. Like it was just us three teams, we really had to use everyone to try and bring that back. And when I saw like the faces on some of my teammates that were pulling off about 20k to go done, I was like, holy shit, I really hope this comes back together and we win, because they've just done like such a big effort.
So take us through your that last few K with you. What was with your role?
Well, I mean, we were sitting there just kind of listening to the time gaps, and I think our last guy before me, kind of Lovers, normally he's kind of starts to train. He was done at about 6-7k to go. There was none left because he'd just been pulling so much, and I think around 5k to go. I didn't say anything, but I had the feeling like I have to start pulling now. I just looked over my shoulder at Garnieri and Arnaud, and all I got was a nod. I didn't even say anything, and they just gave me the nod, and I was like, I have to start pulling here. So, but then I could see them ahead coming into the about 2k to go as we went up that little ramp, and then I was still able to kind of. It wasn't even a lead out. I was just chasing them in front. We started about I was swapping from turn. Started about 1.7k to go before that left-hander, and then we took it all the way to the line. But it was really close, but a massive effort.
Yeah, massive effort. It's great always having an Aussie connection to the stage wins. We've also got a grab with Arnaud Démare. I organised the French translator. Not really, I just pinched it off Twitter. So anyway, here's Arnaud Démare after the finish.
Arnaud, celle-là, il a fallu aller la chercher parce que les échappées étaient bien parties.
Ouais, c'est clair, c'est une.
Really had to work for that. The escape very nearly didn't make it. It was unbelievable.
J'ai commencé à douter un petit peu.
I did start to doubt that it would come back together again.
Voilà, on avait tous les éléments qui sautaient. Clément a fait un super boulot. Attila aussi, Tobias.
All the elements worked really well. Clément did a really good job. Tobias did as well. Ramon.
Ça roulait vraiment fort et
all of them were riding really hard.
Je me suis douté qu'on allait rentrer seulement à T-Born. J'ai commencé à penser au sprint.
I began to think about the sprint as we got close.
Pour sprinter, et puis les mecs ont fait un boulot vraiment.
But the guys did an amazing job, a monstrous job.
Mal derrière à 1,5 km. Et puis après, je fais un sprint à la rupture comme je peux.
And
et puis,
my sprint was right on the breaking point.
Victoire, donc voilà, encore un boulot collectif exceptionnel.
But it was a collective job that we did exceptionally well. Superb.
3 victoires, cette fois on est sur les bases du Giro 2020.
3 victories.
C'est clair, avant d'arriver ici, je m'étais dit.
Before I came here, I thought
voilà, je vais
if I can get one, that would be good.
Comme en 2020.
As
voilà,
I did in
chaque victoire, et il faut aller les chercher encore plus sur celle d'aujourd'hui.
2020.
Je suis
But really pleased.
Peut-être sur l'abandon de Romain Bardet, qui était très content.
And just some words on the abandon of Romain Bardet.
Ouais, je l'ai appris en cours d'étape.
Yeah, I found out during the stage.
DSM est venu à rouler, voilà, j'ai entendu à l'oreillette que Romain avait chuté, c'est dommage parce que voilà, c'était notre Français
I didn't know whether Roman had
en lice
crashed.
pour un podium,
It's a big
pour la victoire du Giro.
disappointment because he looked good for a podium or if not the victory at the Giro.
C'est dommage parce qu'on connaît toute une préparation qu'on fait pour
all the preparation that he done, put in.
C'est dommage de
it's a real shame.
Je connais pas les raisons, mais
I don't know the reasons why, but it's a big shame.
Yeah, he was talking about obviously Romain Bardet, and we said that at the top of the show, having a withdrawal. I mean, jeez, he'd be absolutely shattered, spelling out the bleeding obvious there if he, because he was up there. He could have won it.
Yes, he was definitely in the mix. He was one of my favourites. He was very sick the day before, and they nursed. He only just got to finish. Didn't improve overnight. Started the stage. I think he got 30k in, and he just had to pull over and just lay down. He was completely finished, which is a real shame. I do love the hair of Arnaud Démare. It reminds me of Vaz. He's got the same puffed up coiffure, just naturally does it. Vaz is exactly the same.
Well, I could see Vazzy in the background. There's just a lump. He's absolutely cooked, the poor bloke.
Well, we went on the bike today. We got the bikes. We're all in the gear. At first, we had the bike sitting in the truck, but we finally got out today, first time, and we did only a quick hour, 40k, and I think I cooked him.
I think you have. Mate, it is a long race. As I said, you're in the danger zone.
I just heard a word from the back, something like bullshit. But anyway,
okay.
I think the 40k might have been closer to 20k, and the heart rate never really got up that high. But anyway, well, let's go with that.
Well, as you were talking with Lucas Hamilton before the start, stage 14 and then rolling into stage 15, they look pretty nasty. Like these circuit races are fast, they're punchy. There's teams that haven't won a stage. There's riders that are looking, obviously, to perform. It's got to be on from the gun, Iffy.
Yes. So they go into Torino and then do two big loops. So Vazzy and I are feeding on 69 and 150, I think, whatever. But we don't have to move, so it goes past us twice. So, look, this is a tough stage. I don't think the GC guys will be all out because the next day is a monster, a real GC day. So
this is stage 15.
Yeah, that is something serious. So, Carapaz. Now, I know I'm going to try and get Richie Poy in the morning because he did a sneaky today. He dropped off. He dropped 7 minutes today, and he's now 16 minutes down. I wouldn't be surprised to see Richie go into a move tomorrow so that and give him a chance for a stage win because he can still drop back if needed with Carapaz any time. But it just,
You don't reckon they might be
feeling?
They might be prepping that more for stage 15, where if he goes up the road here and then he's
I just think 15 he might have other jobs to do. I think there's a real. They'll want him on the front to really drive it and split this race apart. I think that will be his role. It looks like what his role is going to be. When he goes in the front and goes flat stick, they're all hanging, and I think that's his role on Sunday. But tomorrow, I just got a feeling he might go up the road. Hey, could be wrong. I've been wrong before, once or twice.
Well, who would be your tip for the stage, Johnny?
It's going to be someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be a strong break of riders, and I'm going to go with Richie.
Richie Port.
Yep.
What about can Thomas de Gent do it again?
No, bit hard for Tommy. The Tom Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the cuisine been like in the area that you're in at the moment?
Well, Vazzy and I snuck over into the main restaurant part, and we had the cuisine, the smorgasbord, but we also had a very, very nice margarita pizza and a nice bottle of red. I think he sent you a photo of it, but whether you've received it, I don't know. But it was huge. Food's been good.
Yes, I do actually. Hang on.
Yeah, I think you got a photo of us out on the road too.
Yeah, I did. Hang on. Yeah. You keep talking, John.
Easy, buddy, slack. But no, the food's been great. We have a little lunch on the road, which the chef prepares for us: sandwiches or salad, and a bit of fruit and whatever. In a lovely little presentation. But there it is.
Margarita, that is a monster.
He's a monster. He's
a trucky steering wheel.
Exactly. Just Vazzy and I.
And that's
there's Vazzy and I out in the back. Yeah, he's Vazzy putting the pressure on, and I'm right on the wheel. But you'll see.
Well, they decked you out with kit and everything. The team.
We've got the whole. Yeah, we've got the whole kit and caboodle, mate. Yeah.
Jeez.
And we had a wonderful little, like a bike path. It was just a farm track. And the only vehicle we saw was a great big tractor. It moved off for us, let us go through. We had a few people yelling and screaming. They thought we were, part of the pro peloton. That was just the speed we were going.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it should be an interesting couple of days because, the last couple of days before the second rest day, it's always some sort of fireworks. There's always some sort of story. I mean, no one would have expected 2 days ago, Bardet, one of the favourites to take out the overall withdrawing. So there's going to be plenty of curveballs coming up. And it is a common thread. I mean, a lot of riders are getting sick nowadays. I mean, they've had problems the whole year on the back of COVID and immune systems and, just not being able to get through as easily in the past with, little illnesses or whatever.
Well, that's exactly right, Dan. There's been more riders going out with other illnesses than COVID. So at first rumour, Bardet, it's COVID, but it definitely wasn't because he finished the day. If we started that stage, for being COVID, he would not have been on the start line. So he got 30K in, so he's obviously not well. But he'll be back because he is a real fighter. And a good, really nice guy, actually. Yeah. For a Frenchman who's been at the top of the game for that long, it can be a little bit different. We got a shout out on the Solid Podcast.
Hello, Mick. Yeah. You going to read it out? You got to read it out.
Sorry, you got a shout out on the Solid. You normally do that, mate.
Well, Solid you were sort of reading as you were talking.
Well, they were talking about how you were a young talent when you were spotted by the
Italian
team. Oh. There you go.
Yeah. You want to add to that or?
No. Well, I was a young talent with another head.
It would have been a big champion.
It was very funny. I walked past and he was telling a few of the people and his team when he spotted me, the iffy story. And so I started doing a pantomime at the back because I knew exactly what he was saying, even though I can't understand Italian very well. But another head and the smoking and drinking, so I'm doing this and this and this. Had a bit of a laugh, but anyway.
All right, stay tuned again, 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the rest of the Giro and keep supporting the show. We really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/the Detour Podcast. Thanks again for all the support, guys. And, geez, let's see if you can predict Richie Porte winning the stage tomorrow. If anyone likes a dabble and a bit of a bet, you'll get pretty juicy odds, I reckon.
Yes, and don't forget, support our partners, of course, Bike Exchange, who are, around the world. And if you want a bike, the best places get the best deals, jump on Bike Exchange and they'll put you in the right direction. And of course, Jayco Caravans, Lexus of Blackburn, wonderful partners.
Yep, appreciate it because we wouldn't be able to do the show without them. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks, Iffy. Get your rest and, make sure Vazzy gets his rest. He looks pretty much cooked, mate. There's a long way to go.
We're going for a ride tomorrow, late tomorrow. I'll be a little bit more gentle on him.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
This is the winning ride of the Tour de France.